Hi everyone, I'm Bawala Onshogo, and during the course of this week at Web3 Bridge, we learned about writing smart contracts. We learned about lots of smart contracts, from multi-sig wallet to save ethers to different smart contracts. But what I'll be talking about today is about interacting with these smart contracts.
On-chain interaction is basically interacting with the already deployed smart contracts. So it's just a way of user experience. So what we did basically was interacting with an already deployed smart contract, which was our ERC20 token. So we interacted with the transfer function, the balance of function, and the transfer function.
For contract interactions, right, for you to interact with a contract that has been deployed on chain, right, it is done using an interface of that contract, right? And when you have the interface of that contract, you need the contract address of that contract and also an interface to implement what we have on that contract, on the contract deployed. Then you can now manipulate your way and also interact with the contract in your script folder from your contracts folder, right?
Smart contract, they live independently of their own self, having their own state variables and their own functions. So I will use an analogy of a staking dApp to make you understand how smart contracts interact with each other.
Interactions are one of the use cases where we have interfaces in our smart contracts.
Now, how is interaction being made possible? Now, in Solidity made use of interface. Now, interfaces basically is being used for two key things: for implementation and interaction. Now, when we deploy a smart contract on the block explorer, like Sequoia, now we want to interact with that contract that we have deployed.
So this week we deployed the contract, on chain, and now from our code base we run some interactions that reflected on the block explorer. It was, somehow intriguing, but here is what happened. For us to actually sign some transactions, on chain, it requires a signer. Now we utilized the ethers library, a JS library, and then picked the signer and making available our private key. With these two, elements, we were able to interact with a contract on chain, running transactions that truly reflected on the block explorer.
So take, for example, you go to a particular platform and you want to stake. Maybe you want to stake using your ether. Let's say you want to use your ether to stake, or maybe those of you that use optimism, you want to use your DAI to stake. Now, this is what happened. The staking contract will communicate to the contract of the DAI to know what is your balance in the DAI token. Maybe you say you want to stake like 20 DAI. So first of all, it takes your address, communicates with the DAI contract, and then knows how many DAI that this guy has in his balance. If you have up to 5 or maybe up to 20 as the amounts that you stipulated, what's going to happen is that it's going to allow you to stake. But you don't have up to that, it's not going to allow you to stake. So this is a very simple analogy of how smart contracts interact with each other.